Greetings to my ILA sisters and brothers. As your international president, I am thrilled to present this video to you. Along with my son, Dennis Daggett, our ILA Executive Vice President, we'll describe in detail the tentative master contract agreement we negotiated with our employers represented by United States Maritime Alliance. The year 2025 should become a truly happy new year for ILA members and their families. As your ILA chief negotiator, I am honored to have led our union in negotiations to produce this tentative agreement. It has been described as historic and a package that will establish ILA members as their best compensated workers in America. This agreement took a lot of hard work to produce over the past 2 years. In the end, the ILA came away with all its important demands met. We thank the United States Maritime Alliance. They battled us very hard throughout negotiations. In particular, I would like to thank Paul DeMaria for leading the efforts at USMX, assisted by John Nardi, Anissa Fucci, and Tony Ray. Thank God we have management officials who have been in our industry for over 30 years or more. Their talent and experience went a long way to reaching a tentative agreement. Throughout our negotiations, we told our employers that ILA longshore workers were the best and the brightest at what they do, and they should be compensated for that. We also reminded our ocean carriers that our ILA members worked throughout worldwide COVID pandemic, never taking a day off or shutting down the ports. Commerce moved, and the shipping companies made billions of dollars the past few years. Though it took a 3-day strike in early October to demonstrate our determination and resolve to employers, the result is that we won a 62% increase in wages in the new master contract. Here I wanted to offer praise and thanks to the acting U.S. Labor Secretary, Julie Su, for convincing the foreign ocean carriers that ILA members deserve record increases in wages for highly skilled jobs they perform, helping them earn record profits. The 62% wage increase we negotiated in this new tentative agreement finally put the brakes on decades of master contract agreements that saw little or no growth in compensation for ILA members. After we got our historic wage increase, the ILA had to negotiate the remaining items of the master contract, including 2 important pieces: automation, container royalty. We extended the old contract to January 15, 2025, to give us time to finish the negotiations. We look to wrap things up at a wage scale meeting scheduled with USMX in November 2024. To our surprise and dismay, those talks broke down after a day and a half of meetings when some of the USMX companies attempted to expand the use of semi-automated rail gantry cranes at all ports. Sisters and brothers, ILA members, I have pledged to you again and again that as long as I serve as your international president, I will never allow a machine to replace an ILA member. USMX was aware of this position, and I had made this point crystal clear to them for the past 2 years. And they still tried to introduce language in the new contract that would open up the door for automation to take over our jobs. Suddenly, the threat of another coast-wide strike on January 15th seemed very real. Pressure mounted on the ILA to give in to automation, but we held firm. The mainstream media became a mouthpiece for the foreign shippers, and against American workers, saying the ILA should just accept automation. The general public was blinded by the fact that their own jobs could be replaced by robots and sided against us. But the ILA stayed strong, boasted by unity of all our members and with the support of global dock workers. And in the end, we got powerful assistance from the incoming President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. In the early December, President Trump contacted me, aware that there might be a strike on January 15th, just days before he was to be sworn in as our president. He asked Dennis Daggett, Jim McNamara, and I to meet him at his house in Mar-a-Lago in Florida. I have enjoyed a relationship with President Donald Trump that goes back decades when he was building his real estate empire in New York City. We are the same age, both born in Queens, New York, and are pretty good street fighters. After not seeing him for many years, we were reunited 13 months earlier at Mar-a-Lago. Then his re-election campaign was underway, and he was looking for the ILA support. That was a very good, productive meeting in November 2023. But Dennis and I were uncertain just what reception we might get from President Trump and his top assistants at this recent meeting. We had no idea what they might ask of us. Let me tell you, we were absolutely thrilled just minutes into the meeting when President Trump expressed full support of the ILA's position against automation. He had an amazing understanding of our industry and compassion for ILA workers whose jobs were threatened by foreign companies trying to automate U.S. ports. We spent over 2 hours with President Trump going over the concerns we had about getting the contract settled in our negotiations. I have never experienced a U.S. president, Democrat or Republican, who supported the ILA and its members like President Trump. During our meeting, he called Paul DeMaria at USMX and expressed his strong support for the ILA and that he wanted USMX to get a deal done before January 15th deadline. He coupled that phone call to Paul by posting a message of support for the ILA on his True social page that was viewed by millions around the world. Part of President Trump's message said, "I studied automation and know just about everything there is to know about it. The amount of money saved is nowhere near the distress, hurt, and harm it causes for American workers. In this case, our longshoremen. Foreign companies have made a fortune in the U.S. by giving them access to our markets. They should not be looking for every last penny, knowing how many families are hurt." That was quite a statement. Sisters and brothers, as I said, in my 60 years with the ILA, we have never had the support of a U.S. president back in the ILA the way that President Trump has supported us. He continues to prove he is a great friend of working men and women in America, especially the ILA longshore workers. This support by President Trump was key to helping the ILA achieve this tentative agreement. Record-setting wage increase, full protection against automation, accelerated wage raises for new ILA workers, full container royalty funds returned to the ILA, raises in contributions to money purchase plans, and the strengthening of our Myla health care plan. We were able to resolve the vacation holiday dilemma. Sisters and brothers, this is an incredible contract package, and it's estimated to cost $35 billion, and that's a conservative estimate. To put this figure into perspective, The last 6-year agreement we negotiated in 2018 was valued at just over $18 billion. For this incredible package, the ILA did pledge to USMX that the union would address and resolve the issue of absentees. On that subject, sisters and brothers, we cannot jeopardize the value of this landmark tentative agreement by having our members indicate that we'll take a job and then not show up for work. I am personally going to make certain this issue is resolved. Let's understand, the ILA must continue to demonstrate that we can outperform automation. How can we fight against automation and then tell companies we are not going to show up? This has got to stop. All these gains in this new tentative agreement will be discussed in detail later in this video. We expect all our ILA locals involved in these USMX ILA negotiations to show this video at a membership meeting prior to the ratification vote, scheduled for Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Sisters and brothers ILA members, after a long and challenging negotiation period, this tentative agreement allows us to see a bright light at the end of the tunnel. Our best days now lie ahead for our ILA union and its membership. Our ILA is more united than ever before. From the North Atlantic to the South Gulf ports, throughout the Great Lakes and Puerto Rico, our international ILA members in Canada and the Bahamas, ILA rank and file members have each other's backs and continue to be a force to be reckoned with. Our ILA is more respected across America and around the world as the leading maritime union. This contract will become the gold standard among dock workers union globally. I will urge all of our ILA members to support and to ratify this agreement. I thank you for giving attention to me and to Dennis Daggett, who will now review the details of the tentative agreement. May God bless you and your families. May God bless the ILA, and God bless America, and God loves the ILA.
Brothers and sisters of the ILA, this video is for you. After months of negotiations, I am pleased to report that the ILA and the United States Maritime Alliance have tentatively agreed on a proposed master contract, which extends the current contract for another 6 years until September 30th, 2030. This is a historic agreement, and we want to ensure that every member fully understands this agreement before it is time for the ratification vote. This agreement reflects the sacrifices you've made, the battles we've fought together, and the incredible achievements we've secured for our future. Now let's break it down. From a purely economic perspective, based on conservative growth, the tentative agreement is worth approximately $35 billion. However, the agreement also includes extensive protections of the ILA's jurisdiction, particularly related to the use of technology, which, while not easily quantifiable in dollars, are extremely critical to ensure the longevity of the ILA workforce and the future of the ILA. New technology and workforce protection. The ILA once again achieved a major victory by successfully negotiating that there will be no fully automated terminals and no fully automated equipment during the term of this agreement. The term fully automated is defined as devoid of human interaction. We also tightened our technology process in this agreement. Employers must now engage with the ILA much earlier before purchasing any software, hardware, or equipment to discuss potential impacts and reach an agreement. No new technology will be implemented until the parties mutually agree to manning levels and workforce protections, or upon completion of the new technology process. However, there will be no reduction in manning or hours due to the implementation of technology. Under the new technology process, an employer must first notify the co-chairs of the new technology committee by certified mail and email of the employer's intention to implement new technology. This notification must describe what the technology does and is more detailed than the letter required by the current master contract. The employer must also notify the affected ILA locals in the port in which the technology will be implemented of the employer's intentions, and both the implementing employer and the affected ILA locals must engage in local negotiations. Next, the local parties must negotiate implementation within 120 days of the date of the certified mail with the assistance of the new technology committee co-chairs if necessary, and must adhere to the spirit of the new technology principles. During negotiations, demonstration or demoing of the new technology may begin for a period not to exceed 30 days to ensure that the new technology operates as stated in the employer's new technology letter. All local agreements are subject to review and approval by the new technology committee co-chairs. If no local agreement is reached, the new technology committee will resolve within 30 days all open issues that the locals did not resolve. If the new technology committee cannot resolve all open issues, then, within 30 days, the issues shall go to arbitration. All agreements reached by USMX and the International, the new technology committee, or the arbitrator are final and binding. All negotiations, resolutions, and agreements are port/terminal specific. For example, if an agreement is reached on the implementation of a certain type of technology in a port at Terminal A, before an employer can implement that technology at Terminal B, the employer must go through the new technology process. Each of the time periods specified in the new technology process may be extended by mutual agreement of the parties at each level of the process. Importantly, before the purchase of any equipment, software, or hardware that is considered new technology, the requirements of the new technology process must be completed. Minor technology that does not alter manning or job functions and does not reduce manning or work hours can bypass the procedure if mutually agreed to by the new technology committee co-chairs. For example, a change from a handheld device to tablets would be considered minor technology. Cameras, if implemented for safety, would also be considered minor technology. However, cameras would not be allowed to be positioned to harass or spy on employees. The terminal operator seeking to implement the technology still must notify the co-chairs in writing of a minor technology change prior to purchasing and implementing. To protect the workforce, the tentative agreement outlines specific guidelines that must be followed for instituting workforce protections, and that must be included in the written notification to the new technology committee. Management must define the types of technology and the effects on safety, productivity, efficiency, and capacity on the terminals. Determine the manning for the new technology. Identify the new work created by the technology by craft. Determine the process change created by the new technology within each craft, subject to the approval by the new technology committee, and provide the necessary training. A new and extremely important section of the new technology provision pertains to audits. Under the tentative agreement, all new technology that has completed the implementation procedure is subject to audit upon request from the International. Once requested, the audit must begin within 60 days unless the new technology committee agrees to extend the deadline. To ensure transparency and impartiality, USMX and the ILA have selected a third-party auditor that will provide a written report to the new technology committee upon completion of the audit. If the audit reveals that the terminal operator has implemented technology in violation of the master contract, the new technology committee must notify the terminal operator of the violation in writing, and the terminal operator must pay $10,000 per day to the local container royalty fund. The audit will be subject to the grievance procedure and may be used to establish compliance with the new technology provision of the master contract or the lack thereof. If the terminal operator is found to be in violation of the new technology provision and refuses to acknowledge the violation, the ILA has the right to withhold labor. The parties have also reaffirmed their commitment to auditing jobs created by technology. For rail-mounted gantries, also known as RMGs, any terminal currently using RMGs will be red circled. However, if a section of that terminal is still operating using traditional methods, and the terminal decides to convert that section to RMG or RTG operations in the future, or expand or extend the terminal to include RMG or RTG operations, the new operation will fall under the new master contract language. Going forward, any terminal implementing RMGs or RTGs to densify their operations, whether waterside or landside, may operate the equipment remotely, but must have an ILA operator performing the full movement of cargo, which we do not have today. This includes movement vertically, horizontally, and within the stacks. Certain technologies, similar to lane assist in cars, may be used to prevent human errors during operations, but the operator will still execute the entire movement. Additionally, the ILA was able to secure minimum manning for RMG/RTG operations, requiring at least one operator per machine while both gate and vessel operations occur at the same time. This establishes a baseline that local ports can build upon, ensuring that the operations are staffed appropriately based on the specific needs of the port. When vessel operations occur without any other concurrent activity, manning requirements must be negotiated locally and are subject to approval by both the International and USMX. USMX and the ILA have committed to researching and utilizing all operated assistance technology that would assist an operator in being more efficient and productive. However, if mutual agreement cannot be reached on the use of operator assistance technology, the subject will be brought to the Technology Committee process, including arbitration if necessary. This is a landmark victory for the ILA. We've proven time and time again that our operators, whether in a cab or operating remotely, are more productive than any type of robotics. Additionally, ship-to-shore cranes will not be permitted to be operated remotely. This agreement is monumental for the longshore industry. We've corrected past mistakes and convinced employers to invest in you, the members of the ILA, instead of robotics. This is a commitment to your future, your jobs, and your livelihoods. Wages, a historic milestone. We are proud to announce that we have reached an unprecedented milestone in our wage structure, a 62% increase over a 6-year period. This is a historic achievement, one that shows just how much we've proven our worth. Let's put this into perspective. Over the last 24 years, our raises averaged just about 2% per year. And for those who've been in the ILA for decades, you'll remember there were years like during the 1993-1995 extension when we received no raises at all. This time, we recognized that the moment to act was now. We proved our value during COVID, keeping the nation's supply chain moving during a global shutdown. Meanwhile, carriers and marine terminal operators were making record-breaking profits. We capitalized on this unique moment, ensuring that our members receive what they truly deserve. But let's be clear, while we celebrate this victory, we don't know what the industry will look like in the future. That's why it was so critical to seize this opportunity and secure these gains for you today. Specifically, in the first year of the contract, the top straight time wage rate will increase by $6 per hour. In the second year of the contract, it will increase by $5. In the third year, it will increase by $4. And in the last 3 years, it will increase by $3 each year. Those of you who are not at the top wage rate yet will also receive significant increases according to the wage progression formula, which has also been revised. Under the prior master contract, the wage rate for those employees who were in the wage progression was calculated by using a percentage of the difference between the top wage rate and the employee's wage rate in the prior contract year. In the new tentative agreement, the wage rates will be calculated based on a percentage of the difference between the highest wage rate and the lowest wage rate for that year. Specifically, on an employee's first industry employment anniversary date, an employee will receive 25% of the difference between the highest straight-time basic wage rate and the lowest straight-time basic wage rate. On the second industry employment anniversary date, the employee will receive 50% of the difference. On the third industry employment anniversary date, the employee will receive 75% of the difference. And on the fourth industry employment anniversary date, the employee will receive the top wage rate. This means that those who are in the wage progression will receive higher increases each year than they would have received on the current master contract. Going forward, to earn a qualifying year to move to the next level in the progression, you must have been credited with at least 800 hours in the prior contract year. Shrinking the wage progression timeline. As you can see by the explanation of the wage progression formula, we're thrilled to announce that we have successfully shrunk the wage progression timeline. What does this mean? If you accrue 800 hours in a contract year, you can now reach the top rate in just 4 years instead of 6. This change is a game changer for those currently caught in the wage progression. It means that they will reach the top tier sooner and start earning the full benefits of their hard work more quickly. For example, those who are currently in year 5 of the wage progression will move up to the top wage immediately because the new progression only requires 4 qualifying years of service to be entitled to the top wage rate. For new members, the path to the top tier is now shorter and more attainable. The light at the end of the tunnel is coming faster, and that's something we are incredibly proud to deliver. As an aside, all economic terms of this master contract will be retroactive to October 1st, 2024, and management must make all payments by April 25th, 2025. Importantly, this means that you will receive all the back wages that you are owed from October 1st, 2024. To be clear, because you have already been paid based on the wage rates in the current master contract, the retroactive payments will only be the difference between the rate you were paid and the new higher rate under the new master contract. Any grievances pertaining to the wage payments must be filed by June 25th, 2025. New employee wage rate. In addition to achieving historic increases for employees currently in the industry, the International also successfully negotiated higher starting wage rates for new employees. For employees who enter the industry during the first 2 years of the contract, the wage rate will be $27. Employees who enter the industry during the last 4 years of the contract will earn $30 per hour. This will allow us to attract new talent to the industry and ensure that the ILA workforce remains strong for many years to come. Container royalty, a fight for fairness. Let's talk about container royalty. Back in the 1970s, the ILA successfully negotiated container royalty as a supplemental wage to offset the impact of containerization on our jobs. For decades, this has been a point of contention, but this time, we never wavered. Under prior master contracts, the first and third container royalties, up to a certain amount less administrative expenses, was distributed to the eligible workforce, and after that amount was reached, the remaining balance was divided between the eligible workforce and USMX. We're thrilled to announce that your international now has secured container royalty with no cap, ensuring that it stays where it belongs with you, our hardworking membership. This means that the total amount of container royalty benefits payable to the eligible workforce under the master contract in a port will be equal to the amount of the first and third container royalties collected in that port, after the payment of all necessary expenses incurred by the CRCCF. Each local container royalty fund will be responsible for paying the necessary expenses incurred by the local fund, subject to the approval by the bargaining parties. The CRCCF and the bargaining parties will continue to oversee each local container royalty fund, including their expenses. With technology continuing to evolve, this was the perfect timing to fight for what is rightfully yours. And we succeeded. Container royalty is back in full force, a testament to our collective strength and determination. Money Purchase Plan. During the last 6 years, the inclusion of the Money Purchase Plan contributions has been extremely valuable because it has allowed you to save additional money for your retirement. I'm pleased to announce that the International has negotiated an additional $2 per hour contribution to the Money Purchase Plan that goes into effect in the first year of the contract. This means that for each year of the contract, you will receive a total contribution of $4 per hour into your Money Purchase Plan account. Under the current master contract, the $2 total Money Purchase Plan contribution was paid as $1 in year 1 and $1 in year 3. In the new agreement, you will receive the full $4 per hour contribution starting with the first year of the contract. This will allow you to benefit from the additional investment income that those contributions will generate in your account during the life of the contract. Local fringe benefit contributions. Over the last 15 years, the contribution rate for local fringe benefits, including pension, welfare, and vacation and holiday benefits, has increased by merely $1, and the last increase occurred over 10 years ago. This was unacceptable, especially as the cost of providing benefits has increased drastically over the last decade. I am proud to inform you that we've secured a $1 per hour increase in the total fringe benefit contribution rate. This additional $1 must be paid to the local vacation and holiday fund, unless otherwise agreed to by USMX and the ILA. Also, during the life of the contract, the International and USMX will review the rates periodically and additional funds can be added if necessary. Vacation and holiday, a victory for wage rates. One of the most significant breakthroughs in this agreement is resolving long-standing issues related to the vacation and holiday wage rate. This agreement ensures that members in certain ports who were previously capped at a specific wage rate can now reach up to the top tier wage. This success was not easily won. Through persistent and strategic negotiations, ILA negotiators were able to convince USMX and its members that our members' hard work, dedication, and sacrifices to this industry deserve this long overdue benefit. Ports covered by the South Atlantic, ILA/Employers Vacation and Holiday Fund must use the automatic payments from CRCCF to fund vacation and holiday benefits. In addition, in those ports, all locally negotiated vacation and holiday assessment increases on non-master contract cargo must be used to fund vacation and holiday benefits. This achievement is not just about fair wages. It's about recognizing and rewarding the vital contributions of our membership. By addressing this issue, we've ensured that members across all ports have the opportunity to earn what they truly deserve, bringing equity and fairness to vacation and holiday pay. It's another example of how we fight for every member every day. Super tier for MILA benefits. We've also made significant strides in healthcare benefits. Management often talks about the importance of incentivizing members to go to work. What better way than to create a MILA super tier? Starting October 1st, 2025, if you earn 2,000 hours or more in the prior contract year, you qualify for this new super tier. Eligibility will be based upon hours earned in the contract year beginning October 1st, 2024. But benefits will not be affected until the contract year beginning October 1st, 2025. The bargaining parties have instructed the MILA trustees to determine the specific benefits included in this tier, but some of the benefits will include no copays or deductibles and may include enhanced dental and vision coverage. This is a tremendous step forward in ensuring that your hard work is directly rewarded. All other tiers, Core, Basic, and Premier, will continue with no changes. But we didn't stop there. We also fought for our new members. Instead of waiting a year to qualify for benefits, they'll now receive them in a much shorter time period. However, they will have to remain committed to our industry to receive these benefits. The MILA trustees will formulate the specific requirements for new employees to qualify for benefits. This change in MILA eligibility for new employees ensures that every member, regardless of seniority, has access to the health care they need to stay healthy and strong. Container Royalty Central Collection Fund, NCR5. The tentative agreement continues the jointly managed Container Royalty Central Collection Fund, also known as CRCCF, which collects and distributes all container royalty money. The CRCCF will also continue to oversee carrier assessment payments to ensure that the carriers pay all required assessments timely and at the required rates. The current master contract requires CRCCF to provide automatic payments to ports in the amounts specified in the contract from the total amount of CR5 assessments collected, even though some ports may generate total assessments in excess of those amounts. Under the new tentative agreement, each port will receive the greater of the automatic payment amount listed in the current master contract, or 75% of the total amount of CR5 assessments collected in that port. This will allow ports that generate more money in CR5 assessments to benefit from the additional cargo handled. The CR5 fund will also continue under the new tentative agreement and will continue to provide assistance to ports to fund fringe benefits. However, now to be eligible for assistance from the CR5 fund, the settlers of the local employee benefit funds must review and address all assessment accommodations that were previously granted on both master contract and non-master contract cargo. Drug and alcohol policy, a focus on support and forgiveness. Today we live in a world much different from when the drug and alcohol program was first implemented in the early 1990s. Over the years, we've seen some of our members battle addiction through no fault of their own, often as a result of following the directions of their prescribing doctors. The union has been well aware of this ongoing problem for some time and recognized that it needed to be addressed in this contract. When this program was introduced, it was intended to be a tool to help our members, not a weapon to punish them. Through negotiations, we believe that our employers share this understanding. Together, we've developed a more forgiving policy that will focus on providing members with the help they need. Additionally, this new policy forgives those who have remained drug and alcohol free for a certain period of time. This is about offering support, providing second chances, and ensuring that our members have the resources they need to overcome challenges and thrive both professionally and personally. According to the prior master contract, an employee who had violated the drug and alcohol policy twice would be terminated from industry employment upon a third offense. Under the new agreement, an employee will be entitled to a third chance at reinstatement and will not be terminated from the industry until the employee has violated the policy 4 times. Employees must still complete certain steps before they are permitted to be reinstated, including completing and providing proof of successful completion of a rehabilitation program resulting in the employee being drug-free for a prescribed period prior to application for reinstatement. This applies only to employees who are found in possession of, use of, or other dealings in narcotics illegal under state law, alcohol or other substances illegal under state law while in the course of employment. A new provision entitles an employee to the rescission of all offenses on the employee's record as long as the employee has remained drug-free for a period of 10 consecutive years from the date of the employee's second or third offense and has been actively working in the industry for those 10 years. Craft-specific protections. Although the new technology language protects all crafts, we have also negotiated some craft-specific provisions to further protect these crafts' jurisdictions. Under the new agreement, no automation or artificial intelligence or quantum computing can be used to perform clerical functions. Any technology that affects the clerk and checker job functions must be brought to the new technology committee's attention. Also, ILA clerks and checkers, not third parties, will input all information related to appointments and will input into the TOS or terminal operating systems work and parameters for all yard movements. In addition, if any EDI files must be manually manipulated, corrected, uploaded, or downloaded into the TOS, the ILA clerks and checkers will perform that work. Certain clerks will be granted super user access to review transactions and ensure that management is not encroaching upon the jurisdiction of ILA clerks and checkers. If a super user discovers a discrepancy or issue in the system transaction history that appears to show a violation of the jurisdiction of the ILA clerks and checkers, the local is entitled to request an audit under the terms of the new technology audit provisions. For the maintenance and repair craft, the tentative agreement protects the ILA's jurisdiction to maintain and repair any equipment historically maintained and repaired by ILA represented employees, including container cranes, container handling equipment, and gensets, regardless of any change in power source. For example, if they use lithium batteries, solid state batteries, propane, hydrogen power, electric power, or hybrid power in the future, the ILA maintenance craft will still perform the work. Employers must provide any training that is necessary to maintain and repair the equipment. Grievance procedure. Although the LIGC procedure has been in the master contract for many years, in some ports, management has been reluctant to process grievances in a timely manner. To correct this issue, the new tentative agreement requires the LIGC to hear all disputes within 30 days after the charge has been filed, unless the LIGC members mutually agree to extend the period in a particular case, and to render a decision within 10 days after the hearing. If the LIGC members do not agree to extend the period and a hearing is not held within 30 days, the grieving party will prevail and the non-grieving party will not have the right of appeal. Line handling. Over the years, we have learned that line handling is not performed by ILA represented employees in all ports. Therefore, to ensure that the ILA performs this work, the new tentative agreement requires that all line handling work be performed by ILA represented workers on piers and waterfront facilities. Sale or transfer of gensets. A while ago, many carriers decided they no longer wanted to be in the business of supplying chassis to the beneficial cargo owners and therefore began to sell, transfer, or lease chassis to parties that are not signatories to this master contract. The current master contract includes language to protect the ILA's jurisdiction over the maintenance and repair of the chassis despite the transfer of ownership or control. To protect ILA jobs, the new tentative agreement mirrors the current chassis language and requires carriers to include in their contracts of sale or transfer of gensets that the purchaser or transferee agrees to continue to use the ILA represented employees that the seller had used prior to the sale or transfer to maintain and repair the gensets at marine terminals and off-pier facilities in the historic port areas. The ILA will retain its jurisdiction to inspect and maintain all gensets and to plug and unplug all refrigeration equipment at marine terminals and off-pier ILA facilities in the historic port area. These provisions will not apply to gensets that are to be scrapped. Protection of ILA jurisdiction. In the past, when the ILA has attempted to protect its jurisdiction in a particular port, management has responded that it does not have the control over the work and therefore cannot ensure that the ILA performs this work. To protect the ILA against this claim in the future, the tentative agreement includes a provision that management must restate, clarify, and distribute in every master contract port the rules for repairing a container that has been sold or scrapped. In addition, management must agree with the ILA upon what type of documentation must be provided by carriers to resolve jurisdictional violation claims. Further, USMX agreed that if a loaded container is moving under a bill of lading where the carrier is responsible for delivering the container to the final destination, if the container is stored in the port area, the container must be stored in a security yard manned by ILA labor and the work must be performed by the craft with the historic work jurisdiction. Although this topic is not as flashy as wages or benefits, It is extremely important for our future to ensure that the ILA's jurisdiction is protected. Absentee policy. Although we have received monumental terms in this master contract that are extremely favorable to the ILA, management also requested some provisions to address issues that are important to management. Specifically, the new tentative agreement requires all ports to institute a mutually agreed upon policy to ensure that an employee who accepts a job order fulfills that order. The local parties in each port must reach an agreement on this policy within 90 days after the ratification of the master contract, and the policy must be approved by USMX and the International. We have successfully fought automation. Now we're asking you to do your part. When you accept an order, do your part and cover the job. Existing and new facilities. In addition, some ports currently use a hybrid model in which state employees employed work alongside ILA represented employees. Under this tentative agreement, these operating models may continue if currently in use, but if any new facility is opened, or if any facility that does not currently handle master contract work is converted to handle cargo covered by the master contract, that work must be performed by ILA labor. For example, when the Savannah Container Terminal opens on Hutchinson Island in Savannah, Georgia, work on that terminal must be performed by ILA labor, and the hybrid model cannot be used at that terminal. What this all means. Your ILA negotiators battled for well over 2 years to secure not only the best and richest contract in ILA history, but also arguably the greatest contract in organized labor history, especially considering the challenging times we live in. None of this would have been possible without the tremendous support of our incredible rank and file members. Our union became even more unified than ever before, and it's impossible to express in words how proud we are of each and every one of you for showing your unwavering commitment, dedication, and determination in helping us secure this monumental agreement. You have inspired dock workers and workers around the world. Together we fought against attacks on our union, faced personal attacks, and even endured threats. Yet collectively, we never cowered. We remained strong and focused on our mission of securing a historic contract during one of the most significant and contentious times in our nation's history. Your voices were not only heard, but amplified. They were supported by those in government and an incoming administration. Your fight was honorable and important, not just for the ILA, but for the entire working class. At our last quadrennial convention, I ended my speech by saying, solidarity is the key to victory. Brothers and sisters, you have proven that statement more right than ever before. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless the ILA. Thank you.